Hi, everybody. You are on camera. And you should see I am sharing my screen. So as I am checking people in for the attendance, please let me know if I miss anybody, especially those who is look at the live versions as we are updating.
And Kaiwan, hey, it's Gretchen. I'm driving right now, but I'll be on video in a little bit.
No problem. And I already checked you in. Okay. Yes. So we are missing Christians who I know who did not tell me he is not joining. Paul already told me back-to-back meeting. He will join in as soon as possible. So looking for a target like 5:15. And a little bit my fault. I forgot to include Robbie, Ayala, and Teresa in the reminder email, but I think Ayala said she is coming. With that, I say hello, everybody. I think here's my fair assessment from that is 2 Saturday ago that we have a retreat. I think for everybody show up over there and would agree. We have a very, very good discussion and we have pretty good turnout. And I think people feel good about what we have seen. And I hope those individuals who has not got a chance to join in be able to see the slide that we have in the folder, strategic planning 2022. Unfortunately, Rich say, hey, can I see the recording? And I start realize we actually had Zoom that day and forgot to record.
Oh.
Ouch. Terrible, terrible. We should do that, but we did not. Apologize. So I think anybody want to chime in to say, hey, what's you guys feeling about how we did? And I think that's a pretty good use in a morning. Does people was there agree with that coming?
I totally agree.
Very much.
It was a nice location too. So thanks to Christian for lining it up for us.
Yeah, we are going to say good thing about Christian until he show up.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic session,
Yep.
and I think we should probably do it more frequently.
Cool. And like Mark and remind me, they have a really good facility that we really should utilize that down the road, as long as Christian allowed. So let me jump over to the PDF file, which is the meeting minutes from last time. And does anybody got a chance to review? And do we approve or any question discussion we should have with the last month submitting minutes?
I didn't have any, and I'd approve it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Of course, we will have a more discussion on the action update for this month. Okay. It's does anybody know I can share two screens and two windows at the same time?
I don't think you can.
Can I? I can't. So I have to jumping back and forth. Okay, so you should see this month's information. So first we approve, and as usual, it is on YouTube. Anybody want to see the past meetings and not be able to find the link, please let me know. Anybody think there are people has a question about what we talk about, they want to see the meeting, you can share the past recording with them. Now move to the first. Again, thank you for a great sections, and Gretchen mentioned about that. And actually, Gretchen was trying to recite during a meeting, and we have talked about to say what is the top priority. As everybody would, I will bring everybody up to date to make sure that people still understand, still knowing this. Tamara now has the most close first-hand information as together with me because we have seen the contract. So that is a big thing. Then make crying the recruiting and the fundraising is a big deal that we have to pay a lot of attention, especially this year, to make sure we are financially sound. With that said, CMF's project is the number one, the highest priority for this year, because from the growth standpoint as well as a financial standpoint, it is a big deal. And the next one will be recruitment and the fundraising, knowing that our rent, our operating costs, our operating budget is going to double. Next year, just keep the facility. That is a big deal. I think we will be fine if everything go as a planned with the CMS, and we also have the 2 summer camp be able to get a grant, then that revenue wise we will be fine. But with that said, assume everything goes as a plan, right? That does not happen in life very, very often. Therefore, the get and give is very, very strong things. I will beg you guys forgiveness at the beginning of the year and go all the way through the 2022. Get and give is a very, very big deal that we have to mobilize our network to help us move forward. And we will have a more conversation later, especially related to one of the strategic initiative that we decided to do during the retreat and leading by Christians, and that would be an element feed right into that ask. Now I am going to switch the screen that I'm going to share, which is switching to our finance. I'm not sure the link work or not because I just caught another mistakes. And as I mentioned in the note that we want to switch from our current pro bono bookkeeping as we grow, keeping growing. Once we have a CMS project, once we start moving forward, then we will have a 5 other CMS team that we are going to have. We will have to maintain their budget, and we are needing to have a book maintains exactly like the corporate structure. Like each team has their own balance. We have to check, reconcile every month, and as well as our operation costs. Our current bookkeeper is saying that that become too much, and there are things that happen to her personal life. Therefore, we barely make it for the Quincy Robotics side. As a matter of fact, you can see the balance sheet right now. I can tell you for sure it is not 100% correct. The Yati's book has not been balanced, so the budget, so the balance is not reflecting correctly. They are start the season, they are spending the money, so the number is a little lower. So from the accounting standpoint, we still have to include both, but we really need to change that in the future, that the book is correct every month on time, which, by the way, is going to be $2,000 plus a year to make sure all this legal document is correct. That also means CMS project moving forward, we have a lot of expense as well as the rent increase. Everything is going to be a lot of money flow in and flow out, necessary to maintain operation. That is a little note on the side so everybody know that we are going to need to change. However, the story is very good. That we are at a very healthy situation right now, healthy than ever. But as we grow, we need to grow even further. So look at the whole thing on the balance. It is not 118, it is 105 because the money spent, as I mentioned, we are a little bit, so we have a expense in February and that make a lower number. But this is reasonably close, is 112 because there's a $7,000 should be reconciled, has not been taken out, but is healthy. As yes.
Excuse me for interrupting your flow.
Sure.
Father Time is talking to me, so could you boost that up just a little bit?
Boost that is
boost up the
Make it bigger.
scale.
Make it bigger.
Yeah.
Is that good?
That's better. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I want to point out, so assume people want to read one more time. So this is what I would highlight. So same time last year is $35,000 and this year is $56,000. I think that's the key things from our reserve standpoint is we are in a place that we should be proud but not too excited. Okay, so you have online, this one I just update. The reason I find out is there is a $7,000 donation was located in the wrong place. So what you see, this one is I just correct probably 10 minutes ago. So as good as we can be. I like to take a look here. The first thing I want to make sure there's a lot of this improvement is because Yati is very, very healthy this year and the QCRA is healthy as well. The comparison is for the rolling 12 months, if you compare to last year, this number should be a 105 or 102, somewhere around there. And we are 168 this year. So that is healthy. But again, we should feel happy, but this is going to be a challenging moving forward. So this is just summary with zooming everything. This is a very important number. I try to look is overall we want to be net positive, as well as considering the impact from the teens. Anyway, with everything we spend this year, and we start have a contract staff this year, we still remain positive. Even you eliminate the impact from the teens, we still remain positive. And I think we are managing that correct. So it should be something to be happy about, but not something we say we are worry-free. Sorry, I need to make that bigger. I will pause on this screen, and anybody got a question, they want to take one more look. If they want to look in detail, any question, feel free to ask.
No,
For those who
congratulations, just want to say congratulations for helping improve the roadmap.
Yep.
That took a lot of
Thank
effort.
you. I appreciate it. So for those who was not there on Saturday, that I shared the budget and to show all the information. The point I want to point out is this expense line item, the rent. You see, this is $28,000 for the rolling 12. Because the situation that we will talk a little bit about the lease situation, that $28,000 is going to become $61,000 next year.
Wow.
And that's the reason give and get is very important. Okay. So we don't anticipate other line item is going to change a lot. This is probably one thing just kind of hit us left and right. And that will have impact with a very serious conversation with our member teams. I will drip that on the first time this week with the management team to tell people what's going on and what we are going to do. We will have an impact. We believe we will survive. But
hey, Kai, when is sorry, just another topic, but are the teams able to pay their dues, their monthly dues okay? Are we having any issues there at all?
So far this year has been good. I asking this information. The reason you don't see a Yachty over here is because of bookkeeping. They pay on time. So I'm watching this every month, and they are all pay on time. Nobody's
Okay.
past due.
Good, awesome.
Okay. So I think they will feel stressed, and we just need to find a way to pull together. Does everybody be able to see my screen good enough? Do I need to jump to 125?
I'm good, but I got my glasses on now.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. No, there's a very significant amount of people on this call is going to do that. Even I don't wear glasses. I just have big things. I just looking close. I am one of us. Got a bifocal. So finance, that's a portion. And here is the one I want to talk a little bit. For those who was not there, I spent quite a significant amount of time to explain this. TPN has treated us pretty well. The challenge is there is a developer approach them and give them an offer hard to refuse. So they are going to sell the building. What they are going to do is they sell the building and start become a renter instead of landowner for the building we occupy right now. Therefore, they try to get us some protection. And so they are switching around and help us to sign a contract, which they are putting that into their clause to the new to the developer who is going to buy in a facility to protect us to have a preferred rate in 2 years. Of course, I present this one all to our general counsel, Tamara, and we look at this situation. We think we should be okay, but there's no guarantee, right? Did I say that correctly?
Correct. One of my biggest concerns is that they buy this property and yes, we have a lease for 2 years, but that doesn't mean that they can't decide to develop sooner. I know that's not the plan, but I'm hoping we can put some contingencies in there as far as if that were to happen or possibly prevent that from happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my question. If they're a developer, when are they planning to develop it, and will they? So
And-
Well, is it the next door neighbor that's actually offering?
Next door neighbor offering, you mean the developer purchased the neighbor buildings as well? The
Yeah,
answer
okay,
is
that was
yes.
it, okay,
But not the neighbor buying the building.
okay.
So long term, this building will not be here. So we have to at some point figure out where we're going. So that was not really. I did not understand that during our SPM that. Because we talked about having satellites or having other facilities that we'd move into that were more around the city, but we didn't really talk about this building, the potential or the reality that this building will probably not be here in 5 years.
5 years is correct. They believe the developer right now, the plan is they are not going to do anything 2 to 4 years, within 2 to 4 years. But who knows? They can change their mind.
Mhm.
Right. That goes back to Tamara. I think your point, is there anything we can at least attempt to do contractually, at least we know our timeline is? Kaiwan, I can't help but think it's a different situation, but I can't help but think of what happened to the Carolinas Aviation Museum. They thought they were going to have more time than they did, and then they were told, you got to be out by July. And
Right.
that put them in a bind.
Yeah, that is my biggest concern. So looking at different mechanisms that could protect us from that happening. And we're really limited there. So that's, I'm going to take a careful look at that and see what our options are so that we understand what the reality is of
Yeah. So
potentially a year from now, we've got to be out.
yeah. So
So we should be scouting some areas at this
Yeah.
point, right?
we need to as soon as possible. So not so great comfort is TPN is in the same situation. So Chris is making a comment saying when they move, they have no problem looking for a space. We move together. So, but that's the owner's comment, right? There's a will, there's a reality. Sometimes there's a gap in between.
Right.
Yeah, they can move into, because of what they
Question.
do, they can move into an office space, whereas, with what Queen Cities does, it doesn't really work in an office space. They need more area, more room, more high
Correct.
ceilings, things like that.
Correct. So that's what I mean. There's a will, but the reality may not be the will. Ayala?
I'm gonna bring up an idea if somebody is willing to look into it. This was something that was suggested to us probably 2 years ago, and because Yeti has a long-standing track record of having students that have gone to Metrolina is going to expand, and they will have their own place. And they have brought it to a parent's attention that if we wanted to have a space adjacent to their building, they would entertain that idea. So would we want to approach Metrolina Scholars Academy?
Yes. So put me in contact. Tamara, you want to be CC in that email?
Yes, please.
Where are they located, Ayala?
They're located off of, I'm pretty sure they're still there. I'm not sure that that's where they're building, but if you go down Tyvola towards South Park Mall, Costco is on your right, and at that stoplight, when after you pass Costco, well, you can actually take that stoplight to go to Costco too. You make a left, and they're in that business park there. I doubt that that's where they're building. I just know that they're building a bigger campus.
And one of the things that we need to be cognizant of course, is ensuring that wherever we are, it's kind of within the travel distance of our target demographic as far as our students are concerned, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Especially like for our team, because we draw from 7 counties, that is pretty important.
Do you know if construction has already started?
No, I don't, especially since this was about 2 years ago, and then the whole COVID things. I have no idea, but I could definitely look into it, and I could definitely figure out what's going on, and then from there proceed to put you guys in contact with the right people there.
Kywin and Mark, what kind of square footage are we looking at?
We are currently expanding into 11,000 square foot, and that is part of the things we're changing from 28,000 to 61,000. So that's something detail I have not got a chance to speak on this call yet. And we have a talk about on Saturday. The price we change so much is not because the rate change only. The rate change is only contribute 20% of the cost increase. We are expanding into go all the way to the wall. If you remember, everybody on this code has been there before. We always talk about the in front of office, that storage area is not ours. As we are expanding the team, everything we are saying, we want to expand all the way to the wall so we can lock it up. And for the safety of students, we are also going to open the door from the side so we can have our own entrance. And a bunch of things really for security standpoint, that's where it would improve, but that price tag is a 40% increase from where we are today. And we are willing to do that because the benefit of the security, and we are also growing, and we want to put in program for revenue. does that still make sense for us to keeping moving forward in this way? Yes, because of security. So those 40% increase, we are going to just swallow that. Because the owner changed, we are switching the rate from where we are today is somewhere around $4 even, somewhere around there. It's changing to different rate because they anticipate the new owner is going to have a market rate. So when they are changing all of this, they are talking about say, hey, it's just reasonable to increase based on the common practice. And there's a triple net, which means that we are going to be sharing the tasks and other commercial expense, tax and insurance. So they put another wrinkle on top. In reality, here's a reference we probably want to just know. If in the market rate is $7 to $8 per square foot for the place we are leasing, but we will go moving forward, where it still is going to be $478 for the lease itself, and putting the money on top to cover the lease. I think it was still in the $5 range. I did not calculate the detail, but I do remember the total is the annual budget is going to throw us a little bit over $61,000. But I just want to make sure, don't cry to say the landlord just have a big price increase. Well, all things being fair, they still give us a discount. The biggest impact is really for the security reason. And the contract was delayed. They were originally talking about February 1st, and we go to negotiate, and they move that. They will move that to April 1st. That's where the new rate is going to start. On top of that, they also throw in a $15,000 allowance. Right now, they are saying their practice is going to literally just write us a check, so we can use it for HVAC or utility or whatever improvement we want to. That is in the contract that Tamara is helping us to review. So, but with that said, we don't know how long we are going to stay in the building. So the whole plan is going to change. That we are not necessarily want to have HVAC, because if we really don't have that many days in the year that we complain about the temperature, especially if we form a relationship with Park and Recreation, we can argue about, say, more class for the younger student should be in the Park and Recreation Center, not in the zone, because that also is closer to the students. So there's a lot of things. You just count the whole thing, just have to rethink. That is this bullet. Did we spend enough time on this here? Any question?
I'm good.
So move on to the action plan update. So there are two actions out of the strategic meeting that we talked about, and we are going to talk later. The other thing block is from the last month that did not get update, or there's no update needed, but I think worthy to keep here for people to reference back. So I want to touch this one, continue discussion with the CMS. The Park and Recreation Center still have a very good relationship. For the individual who is running a facility, they still really like us. We are going to continue to explore the program, but as I mentioned last time, the pay program, because Omicron and everything, we are kind of want to reset a little bit. So on the CMS project, so even Mark don't know about this. That Mark, did you see the email from Susan, or did she just emailed me? I forgot.
No, I didn't see it.
So Susan got back to me today, and because I asked him Monica's help, which is our contact at the CMS. So Susan is the boss, and the Monica is the CTE program coordinator for engineering. We work really close to them, and Susan say it looks good. I still don't have a problem. She's only to send that forward to their account payable and the legal department to review, hopefully come back to us within a couple of days. So yay, the thing is going good. On the contrary side, as good as we can ask for, we also secure all 6 teachers. So again, to refresh your memory, we are going to set our team in 3 different schools: East Mac, McClintock, JM, Alexander. I think it's JM. So 1 FRC team in Eastern Mac, 2 FTC team in both middle school. So that's 6 teachers. In the middle school, the teacher, they are going to help each other, be a lead mentor for both teams. We use that to lower the headcount. So that is, we got all 6 names, and we are also going to have an assistant program manager, which is a part-time college student that is CS major, so become a technical mentor. At the same time, she's a plan B for technical mentor. So with personnel, everything we are pretty much nailed down. That Tamara and myself will review the contract, and once we got a PO, that will be the time we will work with our CPA, send out and set out the payroll and start get the balls rolling. So everything is reasonably on track. Mark and Tamara, you want anything that I miss for the rest of the board?
No, you covered it.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, so it's reasonably good news, and I was really happy and have a drink at the day when I see the PO. You know, no PO, no, not sure, right?
Mhm.
So I just open this one up. If you guys want to see, you can click in. The trick is I want to just pay attention and make sure you see there's a filter. If you want to see the old program, you can enable that. This is the program we are moving forward, and the rate items is I turn everything black every month and start adding a new item or change the status. This is all the major event we are planning so far. So as you see, we are doing a little bit different for people, old timer like Mark and Dave. You probably notice is that we usually don't do this kind of planning for open house. That we are started saying that we want to put in the calendar. We want to make sure we got a couple of volunteers want to be a program manager. That is opportunity for us to delegate the responsibility to have somebody make the plan and make it running. And like this month, we also, as we go, there's a lot of this kind of invitation is going to show up that Win and Wins. Carolina Aviation Museum actually is the one invite us to join them, but the event is hosted by NC Transportation Museum for us to do outreach. That's what we are going to do. So Christian, I also put in the Omega's event over here. I put the volunteer who want to be a program in this place. I will continue work close on this, but I am going to try to get the volunteer engaged. Of course, you will be on the other side to help to see how the program turn out. Make sense? Okay, I see the mouse. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so go back to continue the agenda. For the core, so as you guys can see, this is our working file and we are continue to grow. And last year, let me do this a little bit. At the beginning of the year, only the 2 or 3 lines, and you can see at the end, this grow pretty significant. Okay. Okay, so back here, this is a little bit on the CTE, and you can see the number we are proposed to them. So far, so good. Now, is Paul joined it yet? Have not. So let's wait until Paul. I'm going to skip and see if Paul joined a little bit late, and we can come back over here. Let me move forward. So the program update I found last month. So nothing new other than we'll continue to reevaluate if we can get more volunteer and program manager that we can help. We want to have another summer program for coding for robot that is going to be a paid program. You know, still working on the grant. I also can tell you right now, with Teresa's help, we are applying 4 different grants right now. That if they all go through, and then we will have a very comfortable year. It's just very, very busy. But there are multiple programs, multiple grants we are applying right now. I don't have the detail over here, but if you go to the folder, you pretty much can see 2022 and in the grant folder, you can see there's continuous adding more items over there. Now, let me touch a little bit over here, outreach messaging, and this is really during the discussion on the strategic meeting, we talk about we need to have a further update on the messaging, and I personally 100% agree, and I just raised my hand asking for help. Christian is graciously agree. Everybody say we want to, and we just need somebody brave enough to say I will lead, and the brave heart is come from Christian, Mr. Dow. So Christian, you want to provide some update? What you're thinking? What we are going to move forward?
Yeah, I've been putting some thought to just kind of the and the term I heard was WIFT, what's in it for them, kind of messaging, and really kind of focus on the why would they, you know, the messaging to the sponsors, the messaging to the donors, the reason that it just makes sense, like there's no question, it's something that they have to participate in, things like that. So during the meeting, for those that were not in the there last Saturday, Tamara, Tom, Paul, Mark, and Gretchen all volunteered to support it. So we'll start putting together some ideas and thoughts and coming together in the near future. So.
And for those who, some of you, I have not invited everybody. Here is Asana. I hope you guys can see. What is the best view for me to show? This probably is the best view projects. I don't have a good view because we are not paying. Otherwise, there's a portfolio, right? So Asana has these free versions that we start using. As we grow, eventually we probably have to pay for that. I have used this as a project management. The reason I'm bringing this up is as a CMS collaboration, we are using this to start managing the project. It help the communication. Once we have more than 15 people to start participate, we will start to have to pay. I really think that's a worthy investment, but we really want to make sure the people, once we invite them, they actually feel comfortable and start using. But in this kind of particular things, or probably I am planning to invite like Christians and create a project over here. Christian is using Asana on the other side for joint state initiative already. You know, I just want to let people know this is the way moving forward. And I anticipate someday in the future, we are going to upgrade to the premium, the paid version, because we are having more and more projects. So if you receive an invite from Asana, don't feel surprised. That's the reason. If I would tend to like invite people with their QCRA account, if you have other reasons, such as Mark not be able to log in from his work computer with QCRA account, so I switched to his Bosch account. It just take some attention to make sure we manage and invite him properly. So just want to let everybody know that is coming. And Tamara is using Asana with us or as well, pretty frequent nowadays. Okay, circle back. Paul still have not joined. Then I am going to talk this portion for Paul. During a strategic planning, and Paul's comment coming out is saying, why don't we create some kind of recognition program? So guys, help me to make sure everything I document is correct. So Paul is saying, if we can have some kind of the recognition and badge program, we can give to the student, they can put on a resume, come from QCRA, that would become kind of incentive, and the people like to get the recognition, right? So we can using the system to encourage the people to achieve something, such as getting skill and become a driver or something. But what I really think that's a genius idea is he is saying that also is going to solve the problem for us to collect the data. Because now once people start to go through the base program, we actually can use that data to see the progress of the students, see how much they improve through the process. That is something, a very important data that we want to feed to Christians initiative, that when we are presenting, we can tell people, this is not just we wish to happen, this is how students changing, right? The student can be, have a one badge, the first year struggle, get one, and then 4 years later, they are a designer and they be able to do a vision system. They have mastered the skill of wiring and that type of stuff. That will become another data collection point for us, that we become a dual benefit for the organization and with a single program. If you look at the third bullet over there, there is a program called Mission Possible Award. Is provided by Apero. Apero is a nonprofit tech company, provide a bunch of tech solution. I think, Tom, you are aware of that organization as well, I assume. So we are pushing, I am pushing ourselves into that process. Right now, I present the idea exactly is talking about using technology to collect some kind of data. So I have a rope Paul into the process, and the Mission Possible is supported by Accenture. They have their volunteer help us to write the pitch and help to go through the process to win the award. If we don't want win the award, then we will have a very good pitch deck. We can go to somebody else or a project doc. That is worst case scenario. The best case scenario is we are going to win this $10,000. Then the volunteer is also try to rope other essential employee into become volunteer with us. So there are benefits beyond just a piece of paper. So that's the idea, is why don't we marry those two ideas together using Accenture to beef up the process with Paul's engagement. And I will leave that to Paul to, I think a lot of people on this call during that days also saying, I'd like to be part of that. I think Gretchen is one. I think Mark is the other one. If I forgot all these volunteer, I apologize. There's a lot of information flying back and forth. I just cannot catch it all. But I am sure Paul is going to reach out to everybody, try to create this base program so we can use that for recognition, same time to track the progress as how the student improve. So I think that's a great project. Just too bad Paul got stuck, not be able to show up still to speak on his behavior, because he usually does a better job to talk about his idea than I do. Any question so far? And I think because we have this discussion section just a couple of Saturdays ago, I really don't have more material to include over here. So that is all the data we have captured. I captured as agenda this month. We will have a more conversation on the detail about the contract, both on hiring, contract the teacher, contract the start forming a team with CMS, as well as a lot of contract detail work on the side with TPN. But as you guys know, the budget is going to have a significant impact because our decision, as well as we need to be on the hunt for what we are going to be, where we are going to be 2 years later. So a lot of things really need to be worked on. I can use a lot of help to facilitate those discussions, because I'm kind of obligated to put a lot of focus on make sure the CMS project is successful. So we can have year 2, maybe year 3, year 4, just continue building team for CMS. With that said, that's all the material I have. Anybody got a parking lot idea, discussion, or questions?
No.
If that's the case, then we are returning 30 minutes back to everybody's life.
Maybe just one thing, Kai Wen, you and I were emailing about this today, but I didn't follow back up with you, is just let everybody know, I mean, I'll be sending out an email to talk about the contract situation with Kai Wen right now. And if you could all look for that and just give me your approval or not on that, we need to at least get majority approval on some changes that I'm going to propose. So watch for that coming around.
Okay.
Thank you, bosses.
Thank you, Kai-Wen. Great job.
Try to do my best. I care about QCRA just as much as all you guys do. You know. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. If not, you got another. I'm turning actually 38 minutes back
it's
your life.
1:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome job.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
So
All
you
right.
know what the document is. Provide a comment, and thank you for everybody's time. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Kai Wen.
Take
Good job.
care.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.